Yeah. Well, that's happening. Is the delay? Let's see if I can do that. We have. Okay. We can do a fundraiser. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Copeland, Stuart Devon, Alex Yambrick, and a little echo here in the studio. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit. We are live. And we'll see if anybody shows up. I thought I'd get a few people zooming in. What's that? Well, we might be going for a beer. Head over to Grumpy's. 331. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Yes. So they started late, so scheduling, but wrap that up. But next time hopefully. Okay.
And Kosek. Hey, Rob and Kristen. No, she left the meeting.
Hey, Stuart.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome. I still got to figure out the audio. It's a little, it's the Zoom audio coming out. So it goes there and comes back. So how's the audio sound to you, Rob?
It sounds fine. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, we can hear you fine too. We just hearing ourselves come back. We'll turn it down a little bit so it's not so annoying. So I got that jacket too. Oh. So Michael, is that Alex or is that let's see who else has joined us. Christine came and went. And Loretta's on Facebook. And nobody's on YouTube. But John's here. And Michael's here. Pardon? No, no nudity. Let's check. 1, 2. Yeah, this might work. Yeah.
No nudity, you guys.
Check. Yeah. The delay is. Unfortunately, got both them and us at the same time.
We can adapt.
Yeah, I know. Sorry about that.
I am the green mic. Everybody.
Yellow.
Somebody else is online. Let's see.
Yellow's a little hot.
I feel like we have to, give the people some content. So
I'll fix it next time. Rob was just speaking.
You need something?
Sorry.
Yeah, if you can.
It's like 50 milliseconds each way, so it is like 300. Yeah. Drop the volume on the speakers. Yeah, they'll just be more quiet. And Michelle's online. That's the other one. Hey, Michelle.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Thanks for joining us.
she sounds
Yeah,
like
I'm here with my husband, Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Hello.
Hey, Michelle, what have you been up to? What are you and your husband been up to?
Right now, we're eating soup.
Ah,
We both work from home, and so we did that today. Yep.
actually, turn them all down. Keep talking. It's going to echo through here, too.
check 1, 2.
Yeah.
What kind of soup?
Check.
It's a concoction that Jim came up with that's
Check.
got pot
Check.
stickers in it and
This one is neat.
vegetables and chicken broth,
Check.
and it's very delicious.
How's that working?
Hot stickers
Awesome.
and soup radical.
Check.
He just turned down the treble.
Check.
Just the subwoofer now is coming through.
Check.
But
Stuart,
yeah,
this fader isn't actuating this particular.
Pardon?
This microphone is on channel 6, but I can't control the volume. I want to bring it down a little.
so you got to select, and then your trim is there. Is this 6?
6.
Yeah.
And gain down. Gain down. Gain
Gain
down.
down.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't have it up at all. Well, this is your fader. Oh, because I don't
Check.
know.
Check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
He's an
From
8.
the green microphone.
Yeah.
The stream hasn't started yet. We should just have a
Check.
screen that says it hasn't started, but this
Check.
is way more interesting.
Check. 1, 2.
Yeah, I don't know if this helps. No, it's just all bass here. So, sorry. It's just echoing for us here in this room.
But it's not.
So-
There's not that. There's a delay over here. It's not the actual delay, though, right?
No. Just pretend you're singing rock and roll. That's all you have to
Dearly
do.
beloved, gathered here today to get through this
We'll,
thing called
we'll
life.
drive John crazy. That's all.
Electric
So-
word life.
Let's sit down and have a little conversation with Michael
Is
and
everyone-
everybody.
Do you know everyone that's on?
Yeah, well, I know Rob and Michelle, and Michelle's been helping out with stuff, and she was in the last one. And Rob and I went to high school together, so I've known Rob since what, 9th grade, Rob?
Ninth
So,
grade?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn on some lights here too, so it sounds a little better.
Make it vibey, man.
David!
Move the room.
Come on in. Well, not going too bad. I'm gonna turn some lights on. Can you hit that light switch? Yeah, we can see the screen a little better, I think. So this is Mike Kopelman, David Bryant. You know, did you have a Bitstream underground? Okay.
We had a and everything, did we?
Bitstream?
Were you a bit streamer?
Yeah. So I guess we could talk a little bit about that. So David Bryan helped me pull fiber optic from WCCO over to where I started my ISP. So he owned Bitstream Underground. He had 2 T1s to MRNet, right? Yeah. And I built a wireless circuit off the roof of the Pillsbury Tower to his place.
Like a backup circuit for us, kind of, weren't you?
I was getting internet from you before I built that
We were
fiber.
giving it to you, right? That's
Yeah, yeah.
before you were giving it to us, 'cause
Right, right. And then you were a backup circuit, or yes, I was a backup circuit after
Am I
that.
holding this right?
I don't know. Are you hearing Michael?
Cool. Just assume that it sounds perfect.
Check.
Yeah, well, that's all right. I don't mind the echo so much. No. Yeah. Can you still hear us, Rob, over there? Okay.
I can hear you clear. I haven't heard Michael, I don't think.
You haven't heard Michael?
I've been saying so much stuff.
Yeah, you have to say something.
Yeah, do that one.
You got the lapel one.
Yeah, I got a lapel one.
Check 1, 2.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, we could talk a little bit about that as far as how I met you. First class bulletin board software in the day. You want to talk a little bit about yourself and what?
Want me to just follow that lead, or do you want me to?
No, do what you were thinking.
Talk about that.
All right.
The internet.
Right.
I'm not hearing him if he's actually
Yeah.
talking.
Yep. I do.
Where you
Yep. Yep. Right.
Is the mic switched off?
Exactly. Yeah.
'cause we were looking for software to do something with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, you were an atheist.
Yeah.
And I was like, not new to atheism, but like,
Yeah. So was I.
Stuart, that microphone is cutting in and out. I don't know if you're aware of it.
Micah's.
His
Yeah.
mic is
I
cutting
can't
in
hear
and
him.
out.
You turned him down too far.
am I gesticulating too much?
No. Check. Check.
Hello?
Are you hearing okay? What, Rob?
Well,
Michael?
I just heard a hello, and then it cuts in and cuts out, and so I'm only hearing a word now and again. So I don't know,
Alright.
maybe it needs a new battery or something.
Yeah, let's see. Did you? It got shut off. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I hate microphones with the switches. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that too. Give him the lavalier.
Just, I won't touch.
So, David, go ahead, grab a chair. How about this one? Is this one
That
better?
works better.
All right.
That's better.
Awesome. So I'll just eat the microphone like I'm singing in a rock and band, rock and roll. Yeah, talk a little bit about First Class, which is bulletin board software for people that don't know. I ran a bulletin board, and Michael started Bitstream Underground with some friends, like 4 other friends, right?
From Paisley Park.
From Paisley Park.
So we were actually, it was the end of my days at Paisley Park, working with Prince, Chuck, Heidi. I think all of us were from Paisley Park. But so we had actually showed Prince First Class at one point, like, hey,
Awesome.
check this out. I think they even might have prototyped something, but the internet was just coming.
Yeah.
So it was the end of the BBS days,
Yep. Yeah, overnight dialing and exchanging conferences and stuff overnight. Basically.
Yeah, the store and
Conference
forward,
rooms,
like, sort
yeah.
of conferencing.
Yeah.
Talked to people from all over the world back then, pre-internet, because of that store and forward sort of BBS type stuff. It was really cool. It was fun stuff.
Michael started Bitstream Underground before the internet, all the standards and stuff. What happened after? Because it turned into a full-blown ISP then after
We
that.
became the dope smoking ISP of Minneapolis in 1994. We had been buying modems to have people dial into our BBS, so we sort of felt like it was a natural next step for us. In retrospect, we had no business being an ISP, we did not have the technical know-how. I believe DIY all the way, and obviously that was our ethos. But so we were learning on the fly, like how to program things and plug them in and turn them on, and it was super fun. It was great, but we knew our lunch would get eaten by the big people eventually.
Yeah.
We knew it was like a special little time, and it was really fun. And there's people who probably got married, and people who talked every day to this day that met on Bitstream Underground. And there's a Facebook group, a bunch of us are on, so it had a little impact.
I remember the hip thing to be have a Bitstream email address and stuff. So that's why I asked David if he ever had a Bitstream Underground.
Mine still works. Some of ours still works. It's the bitstream.net still works. And now it's somewhere else. I don't know, but they're hosting it still for us. And I think there's an asterisk by my name, like, don't charge him, which I appreciate. Yes. cross-faded for me.
It's faded.
Clockwork.com, which is still going today. It's the proudest achievement of my life, you know, founding that with, you know, sort of a start over from Bitstream. We sort of took the team was left at Bitstream in the end and started this new thing and just decided to do it our way, treat people like adults. You know, we felt like, we're like, fuck it, we can do it our way, you know. And now it's pretty common our way, not that it was because of us, but you know, treating employees like adults, like that's like a thing now, you know. Like who cares what's on your screen? Who cares when they come in, when they leave? Let's make sure the work product is where we need it to be, and then we don't fucking care. And the COVID work and home stuff brought that to home to roost also, you know.
Stuff. And I invite anybody else if they're interested in asking Michael any questions, or if you guys want to, you know, say Bitstream Underground address.
And Elon Musk is going to sell some Dogecoin or whatever. What's that called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Elon Musk will be on later.
Check. All right.
He probably won't be.
Yeah. So if anybody else wants to chime in,
Were you an internet? What was your deal in the early heady days of the internet?
yeah, David, let's give him a microphone. Work.
Come on up here. Be under the lights.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh gosh. So I was 16 when I worked for Vizzy,
You worked for Vizzy?
very long time ago. Yeah, worked for Vizzy.
What'd you do there?
What did I do? Tech support.
So you knew Mike and Al and Bill
Yep.
and
Yep.
that whole crew.
That whole. And then after Vizzy, I went to work for Orbis. I don't know if you remember Orbis Internet. Mark Christensen.
Remember the name?
They got gobbled up by Infinitivity, I think.
Nice made up word. Good one.
And yeah. I then spent a bunch of time doing IT stuff, but have come back to it in the last 8 years, 8 years, 9 years, and done some wireless stuff.
Side note: when we started Bitstream, Geek Squad, Robert Stevens,
Yeah.
was in our office. We were over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what my bearings are, but I don't even know why we had office. We had an office. He had a desk. We had a desk. Digital Minds had a desk.
Yeah.
He did tech support. This is my joke with Robert. He was like, he used just first aid. The unsexiest thing I can think of, tech support.
Yeah.
Geek Squad owns fucking tech support in the whole United States.
Yeah, they do.
It's the only one in a sense. It's huge, and it was a brilliant idea on Roberts, and he's been, you know, he's a fantastically motivating guy. But
Yeah.
it's just funny that tech support became way bigger than internet. Who would have thought?
Oh,
For me, you know.
I don't know if tech support's bigger than internet.
Meaning, like, he made in tech support.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and money.
Well, he's-
It's a Prince song.
Sold it to Best Buy though, right? That's where he made money.
Yeah, I don't know how it all worked, but yeah.
I haven't talked to him in years. I used to talk to him fairly often when he was in town. Now he's in California. So.
I just saw him recently, which is why it was on my mind.
There's
Yeah, I mean, in the early days, I kind of think about that now with like AI. What are the opportunities starting businesses like we were when the internet was coming out? You know, I was in my 20s, you know, early 90s when this shit came out. You know, like everybody and their brother was buying a modem pool and becoming an ISP. How many ISPs do you think there were, David?
A lot. probably several dozen at least.
Yeah.
And everybody had a modem. Everybody had some sort of ATM circuit so that they could hook
It
up
was sort
people to DSL.
Yeah,
Like everyone was like, this is going to be huge. We got to get into this, internet.
right.
And that was the only way we could think of doing it back then.
Yeah.
And you mentioned AI. Like, to me, it's interesting and similar because we don't really know what the use cases for AI are yet. The commercials,
Right.
the rewriting things like that.
Stuart, can I say something?
Right.
Stuart?
Oh.
Stuart, the audio's been really just breaking up.
Thing that you
Right, right.
guys in
I
the
think I'm gonna-
recipe stage.
I think
where
I'm
we're
gonna
like,
sign out.
Look, it can do these simple, cute little things. I know there's a ton of companies digging in. What can this actually do? Are there young, stupid people like we were getting into that? I sure hope so.
Yeah, I think there are. I've met a few of them. It's mostly like marketing stuff that they're doing, and images and stuff like that. And the more I see AI, though, the more I hate it because they're trying to make it look realistic. And the issue that I have is that when you're expressing yourself, there's a certain genuineness, whether you're a photographer or a musician or a writer, whatever it is that you're passionate about, certain genuineness, I think, that gets lost with AI. Because I see AI images now, and I'm like, I hate it. Especially if they're trying to be realistic. If they're more abstract, I appreciate that abstraction. But people are trying to make AI like you can't tell the difference between a real video and an AI video. You can, a little bit still, but then it's like you don't know what's real. Even more so than what's been happening with text and stuff like that.
No, we're going to live in an era where you cannot trust video and audio and photographs as evidence.
Yeah.
That's going to be a whole new fucking world. AI art does not interest me like either. And here's the thing. Great song.
Right.
Saying AI can't write great songs. I don't.
Right.
It's not music.
Yeah.
There's that human. AI will be a tool. I'm for sure musicians for extracting this and doing that and whatever the fuck. But I agree. AI art, just like, who cares? Purpose, but prove your art.
Well, that's a good question because I think that a piece of art becomes famous. I was just watching like that guy who taped a banana to the white cardboard or whatever it was. Sold it for $6.2 million at Christie's, and which is absurd.
Does not include lifetime of bananas.
But I just think that, again, the reason a piece of art is interesting or a song is interesting, might be a hook and stuff in the song, but there's a story that goes with that song or with that artist, right? And so there's a human community aspect to it, right? It's not just about the piece of art, it's about the story behind the piece of art or the artist that created that art, right?
No question. Whoever bought that, people see it. Everyone's turning over like, hey, can I see the fucking banana thing?
Right.
It's the story. It's the story. It's a process. It's not a product.
Exactly, yeah. So I think that's where AI is just kind of like you snap your fingers and something appears. And there's no story behind it, at least not that I've figured out.
No, so like, if you need a poster for your gig, it's fucking perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
Making art you think people are gonna buy, like, you better be blowing the fucking doors off, because we don't care.
And if you're using it to augment your creative process, I understand.
Absolutely.
Or inspire you in your process.
Yeah, and that's absolutely fine where you get your inspiration from. Love it, or what you use to prototype things, stuff like that.
Yeah. So, speaking of the brewery thing, after Clockwork,
I just saw some comments. I don't know if they're questions or they're like, this sucks.
well,
Man,
I
I am
think they're too low.
unmicable today.
Getting
It
levels.
sounds fine to me.
Check. Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Great. Thank you for that feedback, human beings.
Check. Yeah.
So, remember everyone, this is a fundraiser, so donate, what's my Venmo again? Michael Koppelman -1. It's just to enrich my lifestyle, to enable my lifestyle. That's what we're fundraising for. If anyone donates, I'm gonna be super happy though.
Check. 1, 2.
Check one,
Yeah.
two.
Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. And you can turn that speaker down a little bit if that's too, talk to me, Michael.
Hi, how are you? You're gathered here today into this thing called life. Is it electric word life? Is that what it is? It means forever. That's a mighty long time.
What?
Damn fucking long time. But I'm here to tell you, there's something else. This sounds really fucking loud to me and like peeking out.
Yeah. Let's see. No, you still got battery. All right. Does that sound better, Rob? Or no?
So,
Is he still here? No, he dropped off.
is this because of Zoom? Is that why it's different than what you normally do? Because you're trying to incorporate Zoom?
I was up all night, and I worked all day today, and I got here like a half an hour before, and so I got to fix the audio next time. I got I got a different way I'm gonna hook it up. So, because it's annoying John more than anybody else.
But it's because of Zoom. Because you guys do this shit all the time, right?
Not this interactive thing. This is this new thing that
It's
I'm
the
trying
Zoom
to do.
part. That's
The Zoom part, yeah. That I
'cause
want
that's the
to
fun part
perfect.
for sure.
So, you can turn those speakers down there, John. Yeah, well, it's the speakers on the computer. There's a knob right there, John. You can turn that speaker down. No, no, no. The speaker's right there underneath the monitor. Check, they're off? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can turn those down then too. So,
And it's hot signal coming
sorry for the technical stuff.
There's a really hot signal coming out.
Check? Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Check, check.
Check 1, 2.
This seems ridiculously hot. I can see the level.
Yeah.
Can I turn it down?
All right.
Okay.
Well, this is all an experiment, and so I was hoping to spend more time flushing this out, so I apologize for the echo here in the room. So,
No worries.
yeah. But the idea, Michelle's still here, is to get something where we can meet up and have conversations and just kind of talk about all the other stuff that's going on in the world that's not necessarily all the bad news that we hear about all the time, and just kind of talk about people and their experiences, and really kind of like tell a different story rather than the droning bad news that we get all the time, right? And just kind of talk to people about what they're doing, and the reality being that way more good things happen in the world. Otherwise, none of this stuff would exist that we have right now, like Zoom and these microphones.
The ratio is off the chart.
The ratio's off the charts, exactly. And so it's important, from my perspective, I'm the eternal optimist, maybe to a detriment, but I look around and I see all the cool things that are going on, and it makes me optimistic about a lot of stuff, right? And I just wanted to create a space where people could join us. We can kind of talk about those things. How this evolves, I'm not quite sure yet. It's not working yet, but we'll figure that out as we go along, and just get more people
and are
together.
you thinking like current event, like my band, or this story about this, or
Yeah.
you're thinking more like let's have deep discussions, but not get negative with them?
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Have beat discussions. We could have a guest artist, or with some music or poetry or whatever.
You're going to have a curated discussion where you're like, if it gets negative, I jump in. Like, we're not allowed to
Yeah,
because it ruins a lot of conversations.
it does. And especially, and I'm guilty of it though too, you know, because I'm like,
I'm
you
very
know,
guilty of it.
fuck, you know. But there's plenty of places where you can go and get all bummed out. And so I don't want that to be I want this to be, let's talk about how we can build community and, you know, sustain, you know, prosperity, I think is the right word.
Yeah, good doesn't have to mean lightweight.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
the good news and the news where it's like the stupid story, you know, like the good news story should be able to be non-stupid too. You know?
Yeah. Well, and I think, you know, we were talking earlier today about, you know, science and you wanting to like promote science and scientific thought and scientific method. And I'm all about that as well, right? Because I think being able to think critically is all about feedback, right? You take in new information, right? That's kind of you do something, something might result from that. You take that information in and then,
Yeah, Bayesian, are you familiar with like Bayesian reasoning or Bayes theorem? It's a mathematical way of representing what you just said.
yeah,
And it's a way conceptually like people, like scientists think.
right,
I have some belief. Something happens, some data comes in.
right,
Where does my belief move? A little this way or a little this way.
right,
And if a ton of, you know, monumental data comes in, it's going to shift a lot.
right,
Normally, it shouldn't shift a lot.
right,
You know, there's people that just, their outrage machine just sends them on these extremes of, it's like, look, if you believe this before and you read one fucking article, it should go like this.
right,
You know, that's one fucking article, you know, like,
yeah.
so, yes, I could talk about that all day.
Yeah. Well, and I always, you know, because, you know, when I took over the TV station here, it's a nonprofit that was struggling and, you know, trying to get it back on its feet and stuff like that. And we've turned it around, but now I want to, you know, we changed the mission. It was Minnesota Cable Network, right? And so we changed it to Minnesota Community Network. And our tagline was, you know, Minnesota made content in support of building strong, diverse community. And I think the more I've thought about it, I want to try it rather than content, I'm going to make it Minnesota made stories in support of building community. Because we are the stories that we tell ourselves, right? And if you are telling yourself that the world's going to hell in a handbasket and, you know, I'm a piece of shit or, you know, whatever your story is, that's what it is, right? Oh, was it Buckaroo Banzai that said, wherever you go, there you are?
Or your Rivera, I don't know.
I totally believe that. It's like you have to deal with reality, obviously, but there's a self-fulfilling prophecy of you saying, your ego, right? Having enough ego to say, I can do this. I can figure this out. I can make this happen. And then if your ego goes to the point where I'm better than you are, I'm better than he is, then your ego is now a detriment to your progress and not a motivator to your progress. And so, yeah, I just wanted to tell more stories and have other people tell their stories too, like you and David. We'll have David on next week. Next Monday, David will talk. So talking about these waves, these technology waves, so the internet came along and you hopped on that after Paisley Park, and then you did the development thing with Clockworks, and then you did the next wave, which was, what was the next wave again?
Astrophysics.
And
then brewing.
And then brewing, that's right, yeah. So what motivated you to want to get your degree in astrophysics?
My grandpa was a chemist, and he always knew the actual answers to questions. You know, like,
Yeah.
why is the sky blue? He could tell you what the answer was. And that was sort of in the back of my mind. My girlfriend, now my wife, gave me a telescope, and I just started looking, you know, just a little backyard telescope. I started looking at things. And I think I held my camera up to it and took a picture, and I could see this little nebula, or I may have just put in my camera at the sky. And it's like, that's data. Like seeing that nebula isn't just seeing, it's like, that's data, like it's a measurement in a sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So that started digging into like, what can I do with astronomy and like the variable stars, like the AVSO, Variable Star Organization, and just like digging into citizen science. And then I realized that I didn't know math and physics, you know, that I went to music college.
Yeah, yeah.
And I tried to teach myself calculus, and on page 6 probably, I was like, no fucking way, you know. And then I saw this talk at my astronomy club where this guy talked about stars and how math can explain stars.
Right, right.
And showed us all sorts of stuff where it's like, math can explain stars? How, you know?
Yeah.
So I had to answer that question.
Yeah.
So that led me into math and physics, you know, which is rewarding on its own and, you know, has a ton of applications in brewing and you know, lots of things.
Yeah. And David does brewing too, so, or did.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Where?
Just do his basement.
Oh yeah, home brewing. That's
Yeah,
the best.
home brewing.
That's the best, yeah.
Yeah. Well, those are great stories, right? That progress and that thinking, because I think that, you know, dealing with the math of and being curious about it, I think about the way I learn is there's something I want to accomplish, and you got to learn all these things in order to accomplish something, and that's the way I learn those things, and I think that's what you just described, right? You had curiosity about this thing, you wanted to accomplish it, and you had to learn math in order to math and physics in order to understand it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that we do wrong in our education system too, is where we're teaching somebody how to use a tool, but we're not giving them a project to use the tool on that they can get excited about, right? So it's like, you want to drive really fast in a car, right? Well, what are the tools you need to learn how to drive the car and fix the car and make the car perform better? And then you learn all the tools that you need in order to do something that's cool, right?
Yeah. If you say like, hey, calculus is really cool, which it is.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about calculus. Nothing, you know?
No.
If you're like, let's tune it, and here's the equation that governs that, and we have to maximize this, and I think that's what that's for, you know? That's
Exactly.
a whole different thing.
Yeah. I guess the practical aspect of why you're learning these things, right?
Yeah, and also, you know, not overly practical. Like,
Right,
we
right.
have to still have room for
Yeah.
non-practicality. you know,
For crazy stuff.
in our learning.
Yeah.
Because some people just, they only learn what they have to learn, and that becomes self-confining, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you know, there's varying levels of interest and skill and different things like that. So, after talk about the brewery, why did you want to start brewing beer? How did you start in brewing beer?
I loved beer, and since I was in college, we would like chase good beer. And there wasn't much good beer. Like, we're talking like the 1980s, I guess. So I lived in Boston. There was Guinness. There's Sam Adams, arguably, and Bass.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. So we started homebrewing in college, and with marginal success, but
Sure.
it was super fun, you know. And then later in life, like as a kid, I was interested in rockets, like little Estes rockets.
Sure.
And later in life, I was like, what's the state of that hobby? And and of course, there's awesome high power rocketry going on that's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like that, where it's like, you know, what's this like? And I heard on the radio a story about it, and like all grain brewing, I'd never done that. So, and then again, this bubble was coming. We could all feel the bubble, you know.
Right, right.
I was late on the bubble, but
Yeah.
I was like, no, this is coming.
Yeah.
And I love it. And, you know, utterly different than anything I'd done before. Still scientific, artistic,
Right.
a consumer brand. I mean, really fucking hard industry. But
Yeah.
so it seemed like a challenge. And at the time, I was a little overly confident. Like, I'd only had successes
Right.
entrepreneurially.
Yeah.
And so I kind of thought I could do anything. And
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Well, you Badger State, right?
Yeah, Badger's doing great. You know,
Yeah.
it's just it was super hard, and eventually, you know, I left the industry. I couldn't.
Kind of burnt out.
I couldn't really make it work for me financially. You know?
Oh, okay.
I didn't have deep enough pockets to do what had to be done
I see.
to grow that business.
Sure.
They have it now, and they're in a great location. It's gonna be great. I go there all the time. I love it. But
Yeah.
it was over my head in a sense. You know?
Sure, sure. No, I understand that.
Are we
Now-
doing this just for me, or are we doing this for you? Like this? Are we? Do you want to be talking, or is this? I
No.
want to talk.
Yeah, no, go ahead, talk. Am
I
I
just didn't
asking
know-
too many questions?
No, I just didn't know if,
Oh.
if like, this was a test, and the test is over, and now you're just patronizing me because you asked me to come down.
No, well, yeah, I think
Because I
this is
love
an
talking. I'll
interesting
talk all night
conversation.
with you, Stuart.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Yeah, I think so too. And again, like I said, this is an experiment, and we have some audio issues we have to work out, but,
And then booze. Like if you use the word mixer, there's got to be booze, right? Am I wrong?
pardon?
If you use the word mixer,
Yeah,
there has to be booze.
yeah, that's
Like
true.
we should be having a drink here. Are you gonna like have guests?
Yeah,
Your balls. As you should be.
what,
As you should be.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yes, I totally agree, and there will be next time. And again, I apologize. Like I
Don't-
said, I've
no,
been up all night.
stop,
David was up
stop.
with me, so.
I'm just curious
yeah.
where you're going with this.
You can give
but
me a hard time, that's okay.
You're gonna have a live audience.
Yeah,
I'm not giving you a hard time. And the Zoom thing,
yeah,
and perfect audio.
right,
It's gonna be awesome.
yeah, I think so too. So. This is Michael Koppelman,
Koppelman.
yeah. And why don't you tell us about yourself? Introduce yourself again.
Sure. I'm Michael Koppelman. I don't know where camera is. But my claim to fame, in short, is I work for Prince. My name's on a ton of Prince records. I was a producer, engineer, assistant engineer, producer, writer with Paisley Park. I got fired because I said the word no to Prince. Then
Can you tell us that story?
sure.
Yeah. What'd you say no to?
I was supposed to stay in LA to master this record, and I was ill, and it was like December 23rd, and I was supposed to go home for Christmas.
Yeah.
And at mastering sessions, I don't do anything. The mastering engineer does. Like I drink coffee and he does his thing, you know? So I was like, send the tapes over. I literally could not stand up. I was just sick. I was like, send the tapes over. It's going to be fine. And then I'm leaving. And then the next day, she's like, well, the tapes never got there and Prince wants you to stay. And I was like, well, if I stay, I'm going to miss Christmas. Well, if Prince wants you to stay. No. Oh, is that what you want me to tell him? Yeah. Okay. And then I never got called back to a Prince session. Yeah, I was in LA. I was traveling with Prince. I was his engineer, you know.
Yeah.
In January, I'm like, what's going on? I called Teresa's assistant. What's going on? He's in there. He's in there with Steve Noonan. Like, all right, moving on.
Well,
Which I was ready for, you know.
sure.
He and I were not in the same place in a sense. You know.
Yeah.
Which I questioned myself over, like, should I just shut the fuck up and work for Prince longer? You know, I was being myself, and that gets me into trouble sometimes.
Yeah. Do you regret that, or do you have second guesses about it, or?
I don't regret it. I'm curious about the alternate history that could have unfolded.
Yeah.
Because there's some people that'd be like, because Prince was like, you know, let's bring you downtown. Like basically, let's do a contract.
Right.
Sign me up, you know. And I was like, and he could sense that. And a lot of people were like, fuck yes, hell yes.
Right.
Whatever you say, Prince, I'm on board all
Right.
the way, you know.
Right. Right.
And if I was like that, what would happen? I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was not like that.
Yeah. Well, that's genuine, though, right? So things turned out okay for you.
Yeah, and I think in a way he was like, you know, go make your way, man, you know.
Yeah.
You're opinionated and you want to go do stuff, you know.
Right.
So I was not resentful, you know.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So, is that a good enough introduction there, John? Oh, are you looking at the chat? What chat?
Wow.
Oh, that's Loretta. Who are these people? Oh, that's why. Static on the mic, on his lap. Okay. Well, what time is it? 7:30? Been an hour. Is there anything else you want to talk about, or? we could go get a beer, have more conversation, maybe go down to Anchor or 331 or,
I was gonna say, we barely touched on Bayesian Bayes theorem. We haven't talked about crypto or like climate vaccines or
yeah.
no, we don't have to talk anymore.
All right. Yeah, I think this is a good time because, we're having audio issues. We only have one person online. And then I got more
No,
work
this
to
was
do.
gold though. This is gold content wise. I think.
David's entertained.
I hope this helps you guys break even. And just let me know when you want me back.
Well, it is a fundraiser, so.
Yeah, remember it's Michael Koppelman -1 on Venmo.
Okay.
We're raising money to increase my lavish lifestyle more.
What a worthy cause.
At least I'm honest about it.
Oh, cool. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Unless let's go get a beer. How's crypto? That's Alex, I bet, asking that question. I have no idea how crypto is doing.
What's funny, I put like $20 in a bunch of cryptocurrencies, and my Bitcoin is up like 5x probably.
Yeah.
So I'm up, hundreds of dollars.
Yeah,
But it's just a way for me to track the market.
yeah.
Donald Trump's money or like nerds' money, like whose money do you trust?
Right.
When people are doubting cryptocurrency, I'm like, Donald Trump's money is not backed by anything any more than cryptocurrency is.
Yeah.
It's a promise. These things are just promises.
No.
All currency will be cryptocurrency in the future, in my opinion.
Do you think it'll all be cryptocurrency in the future?
What is currency, It's these weird tokens that have zero intrinsic value. And it's a way for governments to, I guess, dick with economies. They can inject money in economies and stuff, but
Yeah. Well, don't they inject money into economies when the economies are growing? Because you need more money in the economy. Because I just
Way
remember
over my-
when I was in college, I used to deliver checks and to the Federal Reserve. So I was a courier, and I'd pick up checks at all the banks and deliver them to the Federal Reserve. And I would see pallets and pallets of shredded money in the loading dock. So people will say, oh, they can just print money out of thin air. And I go, yeah, they can. They also take perfectly good money and they shred the shit out of it. So they're putting money in and they're taking money out all the time, right? And with a cryptocurrency, you can't really do that, right? You can't manipulate the currency, which I know is not necessarily a good thing to do, but sometimes it's a necessary thing to do.
Steal people's wallets.
Pardon?
You can steal people's wallets.
With cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or people just lose their passcodes for their wallets, so they've lost access to that money. So that's
Yeah.
not in circulation.
Yeah, and you probably know more about it. I know Alex just bought a bunch of Dogecoin. He's excited about that.
It's highly speculative, at this
Yeah.
point.
It is.
But that's fine
Too volatile.
if your eyes are open to the fact that it's highly speculative.
Yeah.
The banks are starting to buy into that. Like, we'll see that more and more become a standard thing. It'll be a standard financial instrument.
Well, do you think rather than like Bitcoin, the United States government will come up with their own cryptocurrency? There will be government cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a US dollar cryptocurrency. I don't know if it's by the federal government or not. It tracks the dollar.
It tracks a dollar. Okay.
So it's sort of like an index fund,
Yeah.
But you can buy dollars in cryptocurrency, oddly.
Interesting.
I'm not an expert on this and don't trust anything. I say.
Yeah, and neither do I. I used to. I had a little blockchain group that used to meet at my place here, and we talked about using blockchain for like encrypting and encoding medical records and transactions between people. But Bitcoin was always, I guess, too slow for a real-time transactional thing.
Yeah,
Something.
you don't want that proof of work shit for that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's way too expensive.
And then the issue was the fractional cost, right? So you couldn't get, it was too. You couldn't do like a third of a penny or a half penny or all this other stuff. There's other issues. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know much about it either. So. That's Loretta. Yeah. Wow. All right, well, let's get a beer.
Okay.
You up for a beer, David?
Goodbye, the internet. Thank you for tuning in on VOD, which this is probably like
Thanks, Loretta.
200 years in the future, and this is still online.
Thanks, Michelle. Oh, something's going on in Michelle's camera there. I'm not sure what she's. Oh, that's Alex. Oh, Michelle's gone. Okay. Yeah, you can stop him. Yeah.